The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Chapter 8, verses 27 to 33. Jesus and his disciples left for the villages round Caesarea Philippi. On the way, he put this question to his disciples: "Who do people say I am?" And they told him, "John the Baptist." They said, "Others, Elijah. Others again, one of the prophets." "But you," he said, "who do you say I am?" Peter spoke up and said to him, "You are the Christ." And he gave them strict orders not to tell anyone about him. And he began to teach them that the Son of Man was destined to suffer grievously, to be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and the scribes, and to be put to death, and after 3 days to rise again. And he said all this quite openly. Then taking him aside, Peter started to remonstrate with him. But turning and seeing his disciples, he rebuked Peter and said to him, "Get behind me, Satan, because the way you think is not God's way, but man's." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Dear brothers and sisters, God has made a covenant with us. And the example of Noah and his sons, where God asks them to be faithful to him along with the creatures on this earth. And the covenant is that they will remain faithful to him. And a very beautiful statement that goes like this: "He who sheds man's blood shall have his blood shed by man. For in the image of God man was made." In the whole creation, man, that is human, is very important. No one should harm the other. No one should hurt or kill the other. Taking blood is the biggest crime. Putting end to someone's life is a very wrong thing, a criminal thing. And Jesus fulfills this law by saying, not only killing, but even harming someone by your words, by your tortures, is equally wrong. So the covenant that God has built is now become very strong to abide in one another and to abide in God. That is very important in our relationship every day. Jesus in Mark chapter 8 verses 27 to 33 clearly tells about what is going to happen in the near future. First of all, he asks his disciples, "Who do you think that people think I am?" And Peter bluntly comes up saying, "Oh, some think you are John the Baptist, you are come back as John the Baptist. Some think that you are come back as Elijah." or some of the prophets. But Jesus says, "Who do you say I am?" Then he says, "You are the Christ." In some time, when Jesus was speaking to his disciples, Jesus reminds them that they should not tell anyone about this. And he says, the Son of Man will be handed over to the elders, to the scribes, and they will make him suffer and kill him. And on the third day, he will rise again. Peter was stunned, not about the second part, but the first one, that Jesus will have to suffer under these men, authorities. And it disturbs him. At that time, he bounces with his speech that it should not happen this way, as he takes Jesus at the side. And Jesus feels that Peter is now behaving differently. This thinking is from men, ordinary type of men, not from God. Getting scared of sufferings, wanting to be in the safer side, wanting to be away from sufferings. He says, "Peter, you are behaving like Satan. Get away from me." Dear brothers and sisters, most of us do not want sufferings on our ways. Little bit of sufferings and persecutions, we begin to grumble and feel that God is punishing us. Sufferings are a way closer to salvation. It is a great examination for us to pass by bearing all the sufferings joyfully and gracefully. Therefore, my dear friends, Jesus is preparing us for this sufferings, that we all who are God's creatures should accept sufferings, because sufferings are salvific. Christ himself suffered, but on the third day he rose again after his death to give us new life in resurrection. At this time, my dear friends, let us look at ourselves, our lives, and see how we are committed to God and are ready to suffer for him.